Welcome back to the Kaleidosphere, a Dungeons & Dragons Play Podcast. I'm your Dungeon Master, Nathan. Joining me, we have Grant.
Lucky Shore ain't no mountain high enough.
Cody.
The counterspelled Jack Rackman.
Pippin.
Moriarty. Nobody gets away.
Jonathan.
Mitsuka, who's putting her feet into Clacker's blow.
Only on the OnlyFins. Only
It's
on
a
the
teaser, it's a teaser.
And Alex.
Clacker Vogson, I got nothing.
Join us.
Him.
You do have some feet.
Leave my blowhole alone.
Join us on episode 27 of our first campaign, To Whom the Sea Belongs. If you want context for anything that just transpired, join our OnlyFins at patreon.com/thehomebrew. Previously on, let's see what happened last week. You fought a whole pack of gnolls. That was pretty much the entire episode. There was a lot of really interesting mechanical play using arcane lock in the middle of a fight. That was a highlight. There were a bunch of diseases that these gnolls were carrying, but nobody got infected. Before arcane lock was cast, a couple gnoll witherlings did manage to make it into Jantor's hut, but right before they could attack him during his meditation, Clacker barged in and decapitated them both with one swing. So Jantor managed to complete his ritual unscathed and completely uninjured, and so now you can go talk to him about it and get answers to the questions that he asked Jold.
Oh, it seems like the door's locked. How do we open this? Is there like a password?
There is a password. Can you guess what it might be?
No. You say it.
The password is OnlyFins. And like as Mitsuka says that, like the gold dust kind of like flickers up into the air and the door opens on its own.
Well, surprises in that shell.
I'm more of a fan of exotic fishes.
I don't know if I want to be here anymore.
Oh yeah, I'm
Maybe
with you,
going
buddy.
with Zachariah was the right choice.
It's a little late to be double thinking that now.
Oh, I know.
Well, back inside the hut, Jantor is in the middle of a ring of candles that is releasing the aroma of nutmeg and cloves, and his eyes are completely whited over, just like rolled back in his head. You can only see the white. And he is sitting cross-legged with his hands out in one of those meditation poses, and he's still completely unresponsive right now. You have probably 12 seconds left since you managed to do that fight in under 1 minute.
Damn. Wow, he's not even done yet.
Time for another fight.
I certainly hope not.
I'm going to go outside and feed my hyena. Do you know where
Feed
there's
him
any
these
meat?
bodies.
All right. No, those are diseased. No, thank you.
It's a rabid hyena.
It's not rabid. He's
I
fine.
think your hyena is diseased as well.
I think you're a meanie head. Come on, Laffy. Don't listen to them.
I mean, even if he is diseased, I mean, we're the right person to get rid of it.
Right. Perhaps he has some sort of restoration spell.
Yeah, Lucky, go ahead and make a medicine check. DC 15.
I've got a 19.
Laffy is the hyena's name?
Yes.
Lucky
Laffy
and
and Lucky.
Yep. Laffy was actually the only, Laffy and the, cultists were the only ones to have no disease on them.
Exactly.
Live, laugh, luck, as I always say.
I think that might be the name of the episode already.
Live, laugh, luck. Yeah, so Lucky is outside feeding Laffy, and inside the hut, Jantor comes out of his meditation, blinks hard, and his eyes are back to normal, pupils facing out. And he'll look up at the rest of you that are still presumably in the hut and say, I have received your answers from Jold. Oh, were you all just waiting here for a minute while I was in conversation with him?
He's covered in red maggots still.
Right, he looks down. Oh my.
Moriarty gives the Pikachu face as like he's like holding the two bodies, dragging them out. As he asks the question.
The instant you went into that trance, the instant we got attacked.
Wow, that's rather unlikely. It seems evil forces are working against us.
You could say that.
Are you being scryed on?
Oh, I don't think so. I think that my enchantments should still hold within the hut. Though it's possible something is more powerful than I.
Alright.
Oh, I just think it was Mitsuka jinxed it, Just hard to say. We'll protect you. As soon as you started to do your ritual.
Well, we did.
And I think we did a pretty good job at it, my friend.
Oh, we did. I'm just saying. Moriarty throws one of the bodies out the door. That if you didn't say anything, throws the other body out the door, we wouldn't have had to fight anybody.
Well, I suppose that might be true, but also, didn't you enjoy the fight? I saw you chasing that last one all the way into the forest.
You don't start nothing, and we wouldn't have that issue.
Well, I suppose I apologize. In the future, I will attempt not to jinx us, as you do say.
As you're saying this, Jantor ponderously gets back up and goes back over to his little kitchen fire and starts brewing himself some tea.
What kind of tea?
Well,
What kind of tea?
Oh, I'm putting in some pine needles and cloves, nutmeg, same that I burned to commune with Jold, and I'm putting in some cinnamon and ginger root.
Oh.
Don't actually have strictly real tea leaves, but it's hot water with herbs in it, so I don't know what else to call it.
Well, can I try it?
Certainly. I would like to import black tea from West Danica sometime, but I'm way out here in the middle of nowhere, and I don't really like society well enough to go and get that.
Oh, I can help you with that. I know some people out in West Danica. I can get you in contact with someone.
Oh, wonderful. And he'll brew it. While it's steeping, he'll say, so, he's kind of looking down at the pot as it's steeping and simmering, rather than looking at all of you, and he'll say, so, I asked Jold the 3 questions.
Yard.
The questions were, is this where you were leading us? Does the solution involve Apex? And are we looking for some sort of item? Now, obviously, first person plural would be the party, the 4 of you, maybe 5, I don't know what Lucky is up to. And the you, the second person singular, would be Jold. Is this where Jold were leading the group?
Yard.
The answer Jold said was yes. Jold directed you all here to help me.
Yard.
Does the solution involve Apex? He glances at you all and then looks back at the tea. I think just a minute more, Clacker. Apex. Yes, Apex is a grave threat to this forest, and it has Jold very, very concerned. And, if left unchecked, Apex might be a threat to the entire continent. Needs to be stopped, certainly. Are you looking for some sort of item? Jold said, yes. Here we go, I think it's ready, I'll start pouring it out. Jold said, you are looking for some sort of item. And as he says this, he looks around at each of you and nods, and then realizes that he's overfilled Clacker's cup and it's poured down on the table. Oh, and he kind of clinks the table and sets it down. Here, let me clean that up for you real quick.
Yard. I just used prestidigitation.
Oh, thank you. Quite kind. You are looking for some sort of item, but so is Apex. These are the answers that I received from Jold.
I see.
Can Mitsuka cast, insight on what he's saying to see if that indeed rings true?
Yes.
I have no idea what's suspicious about him just overfilling that teacup.
Exactly.
I imagine that he's just a big, dumb, moose, klutzy guy. Accidents happen.
And that gets me a 20.
With a 20 insight, Jantor is not being honest about the way the conversation went.
Ooh.
You will know from your studies, Mitsuka, that commune only allows yes or no questions, so while it is possible that a deity will willingly divulge more, just by default through the magic, the deity isn't necessarily actively paying attention to that one conversation. It's a deity, it's doing a lot of things at once.
Yeah.
And so by default, the casting of the spell leads to 3 yeses or nos or some combination, and Jantor was providing elaborate explanations for each one.
Gotcha. Okay.
Guess I see how that's suspicious. Taking some artistic liberties.
Mitsuka's gonna maybe nudge Jack and be like, I don't think he's telling the full truth. Do your Jold abilities, do you have any idea what he might be lying about?
No. I can try an insight check. That's about as good as I got. I don't have any spells or any kind of special connection with Jold that'll tell me Jold-based lies. What is the bottom truth is, yes, he let us here. Yes, Noel is a problem, or is part of the solution. And yes, we're looking for an item.
Apex, not Noel. Apex is a druid, not necessarily related to the Knolls. That is the underlying truth according to Jantor.
Oh,
well,
this sick son of a... Okay,
I see what you're saying. So he could just be outright
lying
about the whole thing.
I think he summoned the Knolls as he went into the trance. I think he summoned the Knolls.
Well,
I don't think that coincidence. That's too much of a coincidence.
With a 20 insight, Mitsuka, I am not going to confirm or deny that, but I will let you know that his deception is not just that he's elaborating yes or no, it's that he answered yes for all three, and you don't get the sense that that's actually true.
Oh, okay.
I see.
Oh boy. Okay, so Mitsuka is perfect for this situation.
I sure hope so.
While you're deliberating, Jonathan, let's cut to Lucky and Laffy.
Okay.
Why? Why? We're just playing. We're just having a good time getting to know each other.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know. What are you feeding Laffy?
I'm probably trying to spend some time figuring out what exactly it is that Laffy will eat. Is Laffy a boy or a girl?
Laffy is female.
So I don't know a ton about them.
I rolled a 1d2 for the number of X chromosomes.
Okay. I guess I would just try and figure out what she likes to eat. Try and do forage, try and find some mushrooms and berries.
Mm-hmm.
Do you only eat meat? Will you eat anything else?
Do you have speak with animals or anything like that?
No, I'm just like literally speaking with animals.
So
I could talk to the bush.
You could. She laughs and her tongue and her eyes are crazy. Think Ed from Lion King. And she just kind of sits on her haunches and stares at you.
She won't eat any of the berries or anything?
She'll look at them, but she's not really interested in them. You can feel her ribs, but you can't see them through her fur, so she's obviously not, like, starving.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll find you something that you like. Yeah. It's okay. Let's go see our friends. But hey, at least I have a companion for wherever I go next.
Mm-hmm. Make a animal handling check.
18.
Okay. From your attempt to feed her some berries, you recognize that she would have eaten them if she was desperate for food.
Okay.
She's not very hungry right now.
Got a bite of clacker, didn't you?
Yep.
You're so ugly, you're cute. I love it.
Kind of smoker's cough.
You come outside and Laffy's like taking a drag.
Right. Back in the cabin, Mitsuka, did you figure out kind of a plan of...
Mitsuka's gonna cast Suggestion on, I keep forgetting his name. I feel so bad.
Jantor.
Would I have been back in by then?
Around this point.
Yeah, and she's gonna say, perhaps it would help if you told us what Jold really said to you.
I would
Or
not.
if that's...
I would interrupt that.
Okay.
If I'm allowed to be there, Nathan.
You're allowed to be there.
Lucky's eyes would get very serious for the first time. I think he's always kind of like smiling and laughing and kind of dancing around. And he sees you casting that spell, and he would snap a counter spell out of the sky and interrupt it. Be like, I'm sorry. Please don't.
Oh, Mitsuka is...
There's nothing more deplorable than taking away one's mind. If you have a question, ask your question. Plenty of strong folks here. Look at him. Flex. Let me see them.
Oh boy, this is tough. Mitsuka's gonna say, I begin to think that our moose friend here isn't quite telling the truth, then. Perhaps maybe he wasn't even speaking to Jold at all.
Well, dominating his mind is not a reasonable reaction to being lied to.
It's not so much dominating his mind as making him more prone to telling the truth.
Well, why don't you escalate this like a normal person and call him out on what you believe is his lie before you start casting spells on him?
The truth not telling the truth. I was telling the truth. He sips some of his tea and chokes on it.
You're a bad liar.
Now I'm curious about the tea. Can I do an insight check on this tea?
You can do an insight check on the tea.
Okay.
Or let's make it, are you good at nature or, what else with medicine?
They're all the same. It's -1 or -2.
Let's go with a -1 then.
I'll just do an insight.
Mitsuka like kind of like raises her hand and like nods, or she like nods at Clacker and gives him guidance, and like kind of like a warmth goes down his spine.
Ooh.
Yuck.
Well, I got an 18 without guidance.
Gotcha.
What's guidance? What's the additional roll for that?
D4. Yeah.
A D4?
It's the
So it's
cantrip
20.
version of Bless.
Dirty 20
Yeah.
with guidance.
Yeah. The tea is, I mean, again, it doesn't have actual tea in it, but for what it is, right, herbs steeped in hot water, it's perfectly good. Maybe it lacks a little bit of the volume that actual tea would bring to it, but he choked purely from trying to cover up that he was lying.
Got it.
I think maybe you were telling the truth, Jantor, but I don't think you were telling the full truth.
Quick reference point for Clacker. On a scale of Crusty Sean to Heidi's herbs, it was probably a 6 toward the Heidi's herbs.
Oh, it was towards, so it was fine?
Yeah, like if 1 is Crusty Sean and 10 is Heidi's herbs, it's like a 6. It's a little bit, you know, you've definitely had better, but it's not terrible.
Got it.
Sorry, so in response to Mitsuka's accusation, Jantor hangs his head, which is just an enormous motion because he's got those huge antlers. And then he finally says, "Perhaps."
Were you really speaking to Jold?
Yes, Jold is my god. As I don't spend time with other sentient people very much. Please remind me your name with the scar.
Jack.
Yes, Jack and we share the same god. That is not a lie. I would never deign to be so dishonest of something so grave.
Then what did you lie about?
He sighs. Make a persuasion check.
Alright.
Can I assist with that?
Yeah.
Just tell them the truth. We don't want this to escalate.
Rolled a 10. Oh, yeah, 16.
With advantage.
With
Yeah, 16.
Yeah.
Okay, so he sighs and nods and takes another sip of tea and kind of clears his throat. Is this where Jold was leading all of you? No. Does the solution involve Apex? No. Are you looking for some sort of item? Yes. That is the truth. That is the extent of the conversation that I had with Jold. But I do fear the gnolls. I worry about them, and I would appreciate your help.
Were you the one who summoned the gnolls?
No!
I think you might find it rather suspicious timing.
Clacker walks out and sits on the front porch of the hut.
Jantor nods and looks at you, Mitsuka, and he says, Do you worship a god? Or a belief system?
Servant of something above the gods, of the... What was it, the cosmic sea? Not the cosmic sea, the current.
The astral sea?
Astral sea. Well, wasn't there like a current? Oh my god. Sacred current, right?
I think in the past we've just said may the currents guide you, but
Gotcha.
I like sacred current. We can refer to it as that.
Alright. I couldn't remember that. I had a name for it in my head. I serve the sacred current, which guides all of us, mortals, immortals, gods, everyone.
Then perhaps you may think this less of a concern than I do, but Jold is powerful, but Jold is not the only god, and the others may not be so benevolent as him. Yes, it is unlikely that gnolls show up at exactly the point that I become defenseless, but I agree with you, I do not think it is a coincidence, and no, I did not summon the gnolls.
Can I roll insight on that?
Yeah.
Alright,
I'll give you advantage. The entire party would be focused on this.
Alright.
Except perhaps Clucker.
Insight with advantage, which gets me a 20.
Yeah. He's 100% telling the truth. He did not summon the gnolls.
Okay. Well, it would be kind of foolish to summon gnolls to kill you, but you do understand it makes it hard for us to trust you when you've been lying about so much.
Well, I do have to interject here. I know you cleric types think that you always deserved the truth, but you did come to his home. He did offer you hospitality. He did cast a spell for you. Doesn't owe you the truth, per se. He's not in any sort of debt to you. If anything, it's nice of him that he came back around and did tell you the truth, but we're not authorities in this area. You're just passers through. Give him a little bit of grace.
No, I don't think I know that we, as mortals, deserve the truth from one another, always. That it is a matter of being honest, no matter the situation. No, he might not know us, and yes, we might be strangers, but we still deserve the truth, do we not?
If it's possible, Jantor's head hangs even lower than it had earlier.
I feel so bad.
And he looks up, and around his, furry muzzle, you can see wetness just under his eyes.
Why did you lie to us, Jantor?
I should not have lied to you. I see that now. I should have known I'm very bad with people. You would see through lies anyway, so purely from a pragmatic standpoint, let alone a moral one, it was a terrible idea. But, he takes a slow sip of his tea. I got scared. I got scared that you would not listen, you would not help me if you knew that your mission led away from me. But I fear if these gnolls have never been so aggressive, I fear what it might mean for this region, which I am sworn to protect. It is my duty as an archdruid of Jantor to protect the pine forests of Reniena, and as aggressive as the gnolls are, powerful though I may be, I am not sure I can do it by myself. That is why I lied. You can decide whether it was merited or not, whether my plea is real or not, and he kind of plops down.
I see the reason for which you lied, Jantor, but if Jold is beckoning us to continue our adventure elsewhere, might it not mean that the fate of the world, rather than one forest, lies in the balance? I would love to help save this place. It seems beautiful, and I am sworn to defeat evil wherever I might see it, but we can't sacrifice the battle for the war, as they say.
Jantor stares at you, Mitsuka. Wise dragon eyes meet wise moose eyes. And, you see, both
Can
sadness
you say that
and
sentence
respect.
again?
Wise dragon eyes meet wise moose eyes.
Okay, sorry. Serious again.
And you sense both sadness and respect from Jantor. And then he says, I hear you, Mitsuka. And if you sacrifice every battle to go and fight the war, when you turn around, the war has already been lost.
Oh, yes, but how do we know which battles to pick, Jantor?
If that I knew the answer to that, Mitsuka. His fur under his eyes is more wet now. What is a life if not a series of mistakes and missed opportunities?
I think Mitsuka, closes her eyes, and in her head she's just like, Master Kinawan, I've made so many mistakes, I don't know what to do. Should I help him? Should we go on? I don't know. I just need help.
That's so funny to me. Master Kinawan told you to come home, and you just left him on red, and now you're asking for help?
Well, yeah. That's what teenagers do, or the equivalent.
You call him, he's like, no! Get your fucking ass back to Cliffs Bay!
Hey, sorry, just hearing your message now. Just wanted to say.
Master Kinawan, is that you? I'm going through a tunnel. I can't talk.
I don't get the forest out here. It's just the trees are too thick. I don't get service.
Thanks for the advice, Master.
Right, so I could go back to Cliffs Bay, or you could help me with these two other decisions.
Sorry, Master, I'm in the mountains. Bad service. Can't hear you.
We have all made mistakes. We have all made decisions. We wish we could know what happened either way. Sadly, we cannot. There are many decisions that might have changed my life. I might never have become an archdruid, yet I am one now. And with it, the forest is my life. I have no say over that anymore.
Mitsuka looks at Jack and says, well, we've already abandoned Cliffs Bay. Does it make sense for us to squander time here and protect this forest when we could save Cliffs Bay or Hudson? And yet we are on a third path doing neither.
I have no idea. I want to help, but if this isn't where we're supposed to be, I don't know. To be honest with you, I have this weird feeling that the only thing that's led me here was helping people. I don't know.
What path do you believe yourself to be on, Mitsuka? You say forsake certain battles to win the war. I don't like the violence in that statement, but I appreciate the wisdom in weighing decisions.
I don't believe myself to be on a path, really, but more on sacred current itself. That is what guides me.
Potato.
Potato? I've heard of potatoes.
Jack will kind of explain our situation, like how we all met, the deal we made with Kraz, why we didn't follow through with the deal, how Hudson got captured. For some reason, I think we told him all of this before.
I believe you did, yeah. You can kind of rehash it.
And I'm going to rehash it and get to the, and explain to him why, yet again, and be like, and that's why we got to get to this item so we can get back to Cliffs Bay, so we can save Hudson, so we can get back to Cliffs Bay. Although now I don't even know what to do. Everything's all fucked.
I'm sorry, I'm very bad at following multiple thoughts at once. Lucky, you exclaimed potato. I met a gnome once.
That was a long time ago.
That sold potatoes.
I've heard of potatoes.
I had one once from a traveling gnome. It was
Really?
It was tasty, yes. Went well with my vegetables. But
did you cook it or was it a raw thing?
I mashed it, boiled it, I stuck it in a stew.
Oh, excellent. I'd love to try that someday. Can you describe to me its taste in depth? There's nothing else going on that's important.
He nods and then he blinks and then he looks at Jack and then he looks back to Lucky. Tastes?
How would you describe the taste of a potato?
Just has a long pause.
Mine kind of the potato I ate tasted a lot like blood, really. Then again, I was going through some surgery at the time and spitting up blood, so that might have been.
You must know a very skilled surgeon.
Well, I lived. He got the job done.
No, my potato, it was more about the texture than the flavor. Just kind of tasted like the spices that I put in it.
Oh.
But it was very filling.
Okay. Any healing properties?
1,000-yard stare. I did feel better after I ate it.
Excellent.
Enough talk of potatoes. We must figure out what to do here.
So your thing's important, but our thing doesn't even get 2 minutes.
The fate of the world.
You just talked for like 8 minutes. You don't even know what to do. How can you say it's the fate of the world?
And to be fair, you've also spent longer time high as a kite than we have on this talk of potatoes.
I don't believe that potatoes have any bearing on the fate of the world.
Oh, well, I'll just be quiet then. Go ahead. Fine.
Thank you. Whatever you are. Fortunate one.
Jack.
Yarr.
I'm sorry, what were we talking about?
Well.
Ask Lucky, I think he was taking notes.
Oh, I do have the whole conversation written out word for word. Here you go.
Right.
I hand it to him.
I believe the question at the end was like, I'm sorry, I've actually forgotten it. I feel like that is in character though, like, Jantor is absent-minded.
My name is Nick Perrin, and I'm an actor, writer, and game master. And on Tabletop, I talk with an expert game master every week to find out the best ways to run amazing games and tell epic stories. Looking to start DMing? Or maybe you've been a game master for a long time and want to spice up your table? Then this podcast is for you. Tabletop is released on Mondays wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you ready for your next big adventure? How does 400 plus pages of lovingly crafted D&D 5th edition content tickle your fancy? I'm excited to announce that this episode of the Kaleidosphere has been sponsored by Tomb Guardians, who has just released their campaign of the year, The Curse of the Usurper. Cody, Pippin, and I had the chance to test drive this campaign along with a few other lucky content creators, and it is absolutely one of the most well put together modules that I've ever seen. It has music accompaniments, it has DM assisted actor voiceover parts, and then it just has all this amazing custom art. The adventure hook is amazing. It's just really well put together. You have to go check it out. It's at tombguardians.com and then click on Curse of the Usurper, or you can go straight to Kickstarter and search for it. This is something you're gonna want to check out. Your next adventure is just waiting for you. Curse of the Usurper on Kickstarter. Check it out. And with no further ado, let's get back to the Kaleidosphere.
I think you asked me a question about why it was so important to go save Hudson and possibly leave.
Well, you said that you were following Jold's guidance. You needed to get an item. It's coming back now. You needed to get an item to get back to Cliffs Bay. But you have the totem of Tigal.
We need the next item.
And back to Mitska's analogy of battles and wars. How are you certain that... pray I don't get struck down for asking this, but how can you trust that Jold is picking the right battles for you to fight? And overhead there's a distant rumble of thunder.
That was ominous.
That was Zachariah off in the distance.
Yeah, you sound like me friend, Zachariah. I talk to Jold, we have a one-on-one relationship. I have asked him about it a couple of times. That's why I wanted some clarity and, to see if we were looking for a thing or, his last message was kind of cryptic.
Jantor looks infinitely sad, and he says, well, yes, in all honesty, the answers were no, no, and yes. He was not leading you to me. Head hangs low. The solution does not involve Apex. You are looking for some sort of item.
Oh boy. I would really love to help.
His ears do the, horse equine thing where they perk up.
Perhaps you are right, Jantor.
Can I lean very close to the, can I whisper something to Jantor? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Can I whisper it to you?
Oh, actually whisper it? Sure.
You just brush up against him.
Right. Can't resist these pearly whites.
Ugh.
I've been rewatching old seasons of Stranger Things because I haven't seen season 4 yet. I wanted to get a running start into it.
So what you're saying is
it.
our OnlyFans is going to be Catboy content from here on out.
I thought it was just my blowhole and feetska.
No, there's Catboys now.
Only felines?
Lucky whispers something to Jantor, and then I'd like to step back and I'd like to start playing my bagpipes quietly. No, I'd like to start playing a lute quietly.
Okay.
I'd actually like to bardic inspire him.
Inspire Jantor?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, his ears perk up again, and he looks at you and then looks at everyone else and says, it has been years, really, since I've interacted with everyone, or with so many people at once. I realize you're conflicted. You fought the gnolls. What, can you at least describe them for me? Perhaps I can find some sort of insight into their motives or their strengths based on the combat that you experienced.
Well, there was a cult. And witherlings?
A cult?
Yarr.
Witherlings, you say?
What is this word, witherlings?
Some sort of pact? Sort of tactics?
Oh, this is terrible. Witherlings are like zombie gnolls that are terribly destructive. They often oh, that's what those maggots were. Disgusting. Oh, I have to clean my entire hut now to be sure I don't get infected with bone rot. Oh, lovely. Witherlings, that's what I was talking about. Nasty things. A cult and witherlings, this bodes terribly.
Yarr, we knocked one of them out. Do you speak Gnoll?
I speak all languages. That's how I'm communing with you.
Oh.
I casted tongues upon myself.
I nod to him as if to like signal him like it's time, it's go time.
Well, if there's a cult and witherlings, then this is very, very dire, even more dire than I first thought it was. I truly, truly do need your help. If you do help me, you know that you will have my eternal good graces and Jold's approval and support.
I'm shaking my head no.
And
I'm doing this with my hand, like doing the rotating motion with my hand.
And he starts rotating his hands.
Yep.
And you can spend the night here.
I do this with my fingers.
He
like
rubs.
rubbing coins together.
I will grind herbal poultices and feed them to you.
Play a tiny violin.
I put my head in my hands. I'm like,
I will.
oh, for fuck's sake, Jantor! Offer them gold, or offer them a magical item, something of their adventurers, for fuck's sake.
Oh, I don't have gold. It's just a mineral. There's no inherent value in gold. Why does everyone obsess over
that?
That's
society.
Magical item, an artifact.
I collect acorn tops, not gold.
Offer them something, Jantor.
You'd find
for
that gold
goodness
might be
sake.
valuable when you're casting spells, actually.
They would have my eternal gratitude, and they could stay the night here. I would feed them.
Oh my god, what's the strongest spell you know? What level caster are you?
Sunbeam.
Very good spell.
I would basically want to rifle through his spell components and see if there's anything of value.
Ooh, that'll take me a while to figure out. Because he can, like, I know which spells he can cast. I'm not sure which ones.
Is he just a traditional archdruid?
No.
Oh, I can't help you then.
Yeah. I will say his wild shape is pretty powerful, but that's not a tangible reward.
Turn into something rare and give us your hide.
No.
Disturbing.
Wow.
Sorry. It's just an idea. Jesus.
The moose gets the supernatural sense to just start bawling. For listeners, that's because Jonathan put in the chat that if he cries again, Mitsuka will help him. No, I'm not gonna.
Mitsuka, like, cannot help but watching, a moose person cry. She can't. What can you do when there's a moose crying in front of you?
Well, they've finished
What do you
talking.
do with a crying moose folk?
While they finish talking,
Leave
I'm
them
gonna
in the
try
forest.
to find them a reward that Jantor can offer them while they finish talking.
Well,
Jantor, I think you're right. I think if we forsake all the battles for the sake of the war, then what war are we really fighting? We must be saving those in need and saving the world in need when it calls for us. So I will help you if none else will. For how am I really a wayfinder if I keep running away from the things that matter most? I abandoned my master, and until I can come back for him with the force that can help, I must help those in need the way he would want me to.
he wipes it where there was like the moist fur beneath his eyes. Thank you, Mitsuka.
Wow,
I want it to be on the
let's make it
clackers
quick.
outside holding the totem right now.
Clacker's outside holding the totem. You haven't been privy to any of that last 15 minutes of conversation, right?
Nope.
Listen, I really want to help. I think that if you can provide us with some sort of, you sound pretty powerful. I don't know what druids are capable of entirely, but, I've heard legends, and Jold himself just helped us travel, an extreme distance with, no time. Is there any way that if we help you and spend, 2 days doing this, that you, or a week, or however long it ends up fucking taking, can you help us recapture some lost time? Or even outright, you don't know where this next thing is, do you? I think you said you are familiar with them, but you don't know where they're at, right?
The items, yes, I'm familiar. The lore is conflicting, and I'm not a scholar so much as a naturalist.
Could you escort us?
I can escort you. I can move through trees. I can move you through trees. I can scry. I can see the world around me.
Oh, well there we go. Crystal ball worth 1,000 gold pieces.
What, Lucky?
scrying the spell. I hold out the crystal ball that he has.
Right.
And I'm like, this is worth quite a bit of gold. You could offer them this as a reward. 1,000
Gold
gold
is
pieces.
not worth anything. It's just a mineral taken from
Okay,
the
then
ground.
just give them the ball. Jantor, I'm trying to help you help them.
I need the ball in order to scry.
You're giving up the ability to scry so that they fix this. You're like trading a spell for the forest.
How am I supposed to be able to protect the forest after that if I cannot see what is...
Get a new crystal ball with your fucking acorns.
Nobody values acorn heads.
Exactly! You're a frustrating moose.
Playing your own heart there, don't you?
I'm still just staring at him with my mouth open, holding the crystal ball.
That's a wonderful mental image. Oh, I don't know the next time I'd be able to get one. I'd have to constantly roam the forest and be... I will figure it out. Yes, you can have this crystal ball to sell for as many acorn tops as you want.
We aren't dealing with fairies.
Fairies do like acorn tops, I know a few. If you are collectively able to help me with this problem.
Because of who Lucky is, I feel like he throws the crystal ball to Beatska. Please don't not catch it and it shatter.
Alright, what do I have to roll for that?
Acrobatics.
What? Ah, shit, I shouldn't have asked.
You fucked, son.
Fine, here you go. See?
Fool.
We fixed the
Okay,
problem.
21, we're fine.
You
I catch
do
it and I
catch
do
it,
like
yeah.
a cool, I spin it off one finger and it rolls down the back of my shoulder and I catch it in my other hand.
Yeah, you do the Aladdin.
Yeah, I was thinking Harlem Globetrotters, but...
Is that satisfactory then?
That was a really good Harlem Globetrotters whistle.
Thanks.
That was really impressive.
Well, I have the head of a moose, so I cannot whistle, but you will help me in this quest against the gnolls?
I will help if...
This battle in the war, as it were, though, again, I find the imagery distasteful.
I will
Is
help.
that transportation, escortation thing still on the table if we take the crystal ball?
Yes. Given that I have time to rest, that I'm able to maintain the energy to do that. Yes.
Excellent.
I will help you move quickly
Well, then
through
that makes the decision much easier.
You'll be our
At very
escort.
slowest, I'll turn into a woolly mammoth, and you can all ride on my back.
Sounds nice.
Fair enough.
Well, let's go talk to Clacker about it. Moriarty, and let's have a private meeting outside.
As Jack's walking away, I would kind of step in front of Mitska. I think a small commission is probably in order for negotiating that deal between the two of you, right?
Do you want me to split the crystal ball into pieces and you can have a couple fragments? Or...
No, just throw me a couple coins. I'm a goddamn bard.
Mitsuko pats her pockets and he goes, yes, well, I forgot that I am a cleric. I don't really carry many coins around, but I suppose there might be treasure at the end of our journey.
At the end of you want me to come with you?
I think you,
Yes!
Mitsuko's holding a finger up, mouth open, she's about to say something. She's like, well, I thought you might like to join the adventure. It seems like you're riveted on everything that's happening around you.
Absolutely, this will make the best stories.
You might like to be a part of the story instead of writing about it for once.
And you know what? I would literally kill for a drink. I'm so sick of pine needle tea. I need some beer, some wine. Let's go. All right, part of the team. I clap him on the back and I go outside.
Mitsuko almost drops the crystal ball and then catches it. Please don't do that again.
No promises.
All right, Clacker, Moriarty. Seems like we've come to an agreement. We help him, he helps us with transportation, and gives us a crystal ball that's worth 1,000 gold, or could be utilized for scrying magics if we had someone who could do such things.
What I mean, does it that mean he can do the screen magic?
Yeah, or we could loan it to him for sure.
That might be a pretty useful thing there.
You know, that sounds like your agreement. I should have gone with Zachariah. We're too off course now. We've helped too many people. He lied to us. We're in the wrong spot. Apex has nothing to do with it. I don't care how fast he can get us somewhere. We're already too far away. So if you're going without the totem and without me.
Lucky whips out his parchment and just dances over to the corner and sits down and gets ready to write.
Oh, wow.
Clacker's over it. As soon as that guy said he was lying and he wasn't telling the truth, like Clacker's just like, all right, bye, I'm out of here. You said everything, you were lying to us. We're in the wrong spot. This is not the spot we were supposed to go to. Apex has nothing to do with what we need to do. Like, we've abandoned Cliff's Bay, we've abandoned Jack. Should have gone with Zachariah.
Well, look, we haven't actually abandoned Jack. We're with Jack.
Hudson, I think is what.
Hudson, yes.
Alice meant.
That's what I meant. The anger's carrying over.
Clacker, then where do you think we must go?
Anywhere but here.
Well, that really doesn't help anything.
Well, it's not here. This isn't where we're supposed to go. Yold wasn't taking us here. Apex has nothing to do with it. He doesn't know where to take us. He has an idea of the item, but what do we have to do? Take another detour after that? After that? After that? No.
Well, I know.
We just helped him stay alive. He can take us to the item now. We're done with him.
That is an interesting negotiation tactic. Perhaps you should have had him take you there first and then come back and help him. You let the smart one leave the room, I think.
I am not so sure about that. I don't think Jold didn't lead us here. Why did we stumble upon here after we had our meeting with him after the moose? It seems an odd
Clacker
coincidence.
just starts walking away with the
You're not going to be
totem.
able to do much.
I was going to say, a
with that
little
totem.
awkwardly with a 100-foot totem.
You're not going to be
100
able to
pound,
do.
20 foot tall.
What was it like?
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think it's 100-foot total.
Yeah, it's got
Kinda
a tree.
impressive. That's almost the size of Hudson's spyglass, I hear.
If I recall, I thought he said it was average length, but
That is average for Hudson.
Is there always this much drama with you all? I love it.
Yarg.
Well.
Lately.
That's so late.
Orca folk are sensitive people.
If only there was someone really smart that you could have just followed.
being the one time that Clacker has ever acted this way, he just his eyes just grow even darker as he just stares at Mitsuka for saying that Orca folk can be sensitive.
Mitsuka really didn't mean that in a hurtful way. That she just meant that in an academic, she read that in a book one time way. Clacker, well, you know that in the words of a great leader of West Danica, a house divided cannot stand. If we keep splitting this group further and further, then what will happen at the end? We'll all
We're
die.
already too divided. We've split off too many times. We're too far off course as we are. What do we need to do to go further? Go more off course again?
You know, I think sometimes going off course is the best way to right everything.
So we went off course already and now we're here more off course. Is that really the best way to do things?
I
As we've
think-
been shown that it's not?
I believe that the sacred current guides us, and perhaps it takes us off course between the distance between two mortal harbors, but it'll take us in the right place and where we need to be.
That's terrible logic. I'm sorry. I'll be quiet.
Lucky, you're a fucking cat person.
Excuse me.
Mitsuka's a little bit racist.
Right?
Laffy just dies cackling at that.
Not even from this plane and is insulting everybody.
Well, I'll go give him his crystal ball back. Where are we going?
So, are we still heading to the mountaintop to find the item?
I look at Clacker.
He can tell us where the item is.
Well, I meant the spot that Jold pointed out earlier. Not when he was just talked to, but back on the beaches.
Right.
We still know where that mountain, with whatever the peak was, right? The spot there?
Sorry, if that's a DM question, yes, you still know where Jold was originally directing you. It's not a specific mountain peak, it was just north to the mountains.
Oh.
I have, I think, a good idea that follows Mitsuka's original idea, but maybe kind of throws everything on its head. What if we ask Yotan to come with us? Yeah, maybe we can't win every battle, maybe we can't save this forest, and we have to press on with our original objective, but maybe he can come with us and he can bring the power that he has with him. Maybe where he goes, the forest will prosper. Maybe we can convince him to come with us, and it seems like he might be a pretty big ally for us.
He won't come with us. He won't leave this forest.
Well, you don't know that, Clacker. We haven't asked him.
Clacker gives a look as if to say, really?
I'll say I really appreciate you all coming this far with me, so...
You're welcome.
You're more important than me than a moose man we just met in the woods that actively lied to us. So, I mean, if it's something you're willing to leave over, I'm willing to press on too. And if you're still willing to come with me to check out the next item, then I'm just glad that it hasn't gone that far yet.
Helping other people has just got us nowhere. We're nowhere closer to Hudson. We're nowhere closer to getting back to Cliffs Bay. And every time we help someone, we get further away from where we need to go.
I just want to point out, like, as a player, Nathan, you're a sick fuck. Giving us all these decisions.
Yar.
I try.
Yar.
Perspective is a interesting beast, because I was just going to say that helping people was exactly what got us to where we are right now.
Okay, I had another idea. Alright. So, crystal ball, to activate it, takes 1,000 gold of, like, different oils and, I don't know, like, creams and stuff, right?
No, that's reincarnate.
Oh.
Reincarnate is 1,000 gold worth of oils and unguents.
Gotcha.
Scrying is 1,000 gold pieces of crystal ball.
Gotcha.
Just a single ball that's worth that much.
Yes.
And it is not consumed.
Isn't a single ball worth more than 1,000 gold pieces?
No.
A crystal ball is worth 1,000 gold pieces.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well then when I was looking at it,
Or
was
worth
wrong.
at least 1,000 gold pieces. It could be worth more. You'll have to find out once you try to market it.
I gotta break into that crystal ball market.
Okay.
Worth 10,000.
At least
acorns.
1,000 gold pieces worth of a crystal ball, a silver mirror, or some sort of holy water. In this case, it is a crystal ball. You're not exactly sure it's gold worth.
Okay, then never mind. I forget what I was saying.
Good.
Jantor would poke his head out and...
Can I offer a middle ground, Clacker? Are you open to a negotiation here?
Clacker gives a single nod.
Now listen, it's possible that we just mix up the order here a little bit. Jantor said he would transport you through plants to the next item. Now, if it's only going to take a couple days to deal with the gnolls, then perhaps it can only take a couple days to deal with the item. Let's just do your thing first and then come right back here and help him. Everyone gets what they want.
I pray it. I super hope so. Or else everything that Clacker just said is 100% right.
There's no way Yold's just gonna say, okay, now go to this third item. I mean, come on, that'd be ridiculous. Why would he do that?
Well, maybe it depends on the limit of Jantor's teleportation, though, how far he can take us.
He fights the gnolls with us, too.
I mean, that part does sound reasonable there.
I'm not gonna have him just stay here and do nothing while we're fighting his battles for him. He fights with us if we're doing this.
Hey, it sounds fair to me.
So we get the second item, we kill some gnolls. I don't know how fast Zachariah works, but then maybe we can scry him, catch back up, or teleport back to the Cliffs Bay, or fast travel all the way to Zachariah or Hudson, at that matter, if we can find and get over to
Fast
him.
travel? What's fast travel?
Ride the moose.
Oh, okay.
Well, we have no idea what
That's what they're calling it these days.
this item is, and perhaps it's as powerful, if not more powerful, than the totem.
I have no idea.
Now, I have been listening to some of the things you said. We should address the hypothetical that Jold tells you to go somewhere else and not to go back and help this person after you've agreed to do that. So go ahead and get that argument out of the way now.
Yar, if we get there, he tells us to do a third thing, and the item isn't the 2 pieces of the puzzle that we need to save Hudson, I don't know what to say except we gotta get back to business. We can't be chasing this moose around forever. And that's coming from the moose man himself.
I would look at Clacker and I'd just be like, sounds like he's willing to go against his god, and it's a good deal to me. I'd take it. It's a good deal.
Perhaps the 2 pieces of the puzzle aren't the whole puzzle, but perhaps they are all we need.
I fucking pray it. Every night.
Alright, well, should we tell Moose Man that he must take us to the item first, and then we can...
Okay, we need to discuss the way you're referring to people. I'm not Cat Person. He's not Moose Man, and orcas aren't emotional.
Kitty,
Now,
Kitty, The sentient races are talking right now.
Yarg.
I look at Clacker and I look at Jack.
I
look at Clacker.
act like I'm turning just naturally, but I'm really turning in such a way that the totem smacks Mitsuka over onto the ground. But it looks like it was an accident.
Like a classical ladder skit.
Yeah.
I liked her a lot more when she was high.
Now, I just want to clarify. You're aware that you're a literal turtle in the forest right now, right?
Excuse
Yarg, these are some radical words. I didn't expect you to be thinking like this.
Excuse you, racist. I am a dragon turtle born.
This is weird. This got really weird really fast.
They're
just-
the racist, by the way.
Clacker walks through them and goes into the hut to talk to Jantor.
Moriarty's gonna follow behind while they just...
He just looks at him and he goes, "We help. Item first. You help fight the gnolls."
You help item first, and then we fight the gnolls. I, of course, help you fight the gnolls. I cannot...
Sorry, dying at Cody being, like, acting out.
I imagine Jack is, like, behind Clacker doing all of that miming.
I didn't see it. I missed it.
It was pretty good.
I'm doing live action humor for the podcast.
Right, like, it's too bad that miming does not translate to podcasting at all.
Well, listeners are gonna love it.
Listeners are gonna
Podcasting, a
just love
famously visual medium.
Oh, God.
I will help you get north. I thank you for what help you can offer after that. My, the brief academic study that I have done suggests that you are after an artifact known as the Eye of the Norns.
Okay, what's for dinner?
I'll get some stew going. I'll transport you as far north as I can on the morrow. I can only transport you half as far as my total power, so that I can come back and continue to protect the forest. That will get you at least to the mountains, if not mostly through them. The eye should either be in the mountains or just beyond. Legends are fuzzy.
I'll nod, in agreement.
Thank you, Clacker. And he'll put his moosey hand on your orca-y shoulder.
I move my shoulder away before he can touch me.
Okay. Well, he'll go to make some stew, and then he'll glance back at you and he'll say, the tea, by the way, was it any good?
I'm just not even going to respond.
Oh.
Okay.
Moriarty's really just standing there and he's like, oh!
Clacker is not happy right now.
Would any of them be willing to explain the totem to me? Just because I don't want to metagame too much.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you go.
I would then point out that if he's not coming all the way with us, we can't get back.
Right.
Because it's teleportation circle. It's not teleport.
Right.
So you have to talk him into coming all the way with us and coming back quickly, or the whole deal doesn't work.
That's true. He'll have to come all the way with us and get back. That way we're
Let's say
back
that he's
faster
hearing
so we
this,
can
and he
protect the
will
place.
begrudgingly agree to that.
Woo! Yarr.
Aren't you glad I'm part of the team? What if we were out there? Oh, let's go home, and you couldn't do it.
I imagine that Clacker just walks back in and goes, "Hey, you also have to come with us all the way," and that's
Yeah. I think that's appropriate, and Jantor will agree to Clacker's kind of force there. I will take you. I will do what I can. I'm terrible with people, as you can tell, but I will do what I can to help you find the eye and recover it, and then we will come back and deal with the gnolls and with Apex.
Yarr.
It's pretty late in the evening at this point, so he's like cooking up the stew. While this conversation is happening with Mitsuka, or I'm sorry, with Clacker, Mitsuka, you will hear in your head a familiar voice.
Fuck.
Help needed. People died. Sapphire and Isaac intense alliance. Mind flares confirmed. This is big. Mind flares highly coordinated, communicating, militant. Please come back. This has been the Kaleidosphere, to whom the sea belongs. Thank you for joining us on this epic voyage. We are on Patreon now, so head over to patreon.com/thehomebrew to get all of the great rewards that we have to offer across all 3 podcasts. We would also love to hear from you, so go to linktree/the Kaleidosphere to find links to our Discord, our Twitter, and our email. This campaign is dedicated to Brandon, who we hold in loving memory. To Whom the Sea Belongs is set in the Kaleidosphere. That's kale, like the vegetable, Ido, I-D-O, sphere. Join us next week as we descend into all kinds of chaos.
You're evil. That's all I can say. You're evil.